Hello everyone, this is a continuation of Sick of Bruises, written by Bunny0980, read by Stick. Chapter 8, Panic Attack. Summary. Guess who's having a breakdown? It's Izuku. It's almost always going to be Izuku. Trigger warning for a panic attack. Tomura picked up the call, putting his phone to his ear, the previous task of cleaning forgotten. He only had to listen for a second before he was rushing to Kurogiri's room. There was a shout, yelling and screaming that wouldn't stop, all from the same person, supposedly a woman. The woman was also banging on a hard surface, probably a door. But more urgently was Izuku's panic breathing and choked sobs over the phone. "Tomura?" the teen said. Tomura's eyes widened at his friend's desperate tone. What was going on? Izuku hadn't even sounded this distressed when that Kachan kid had hurt him. "Where are you?" Tomura didn't need to listen anymore to know that he had to do something. He wouldn't be like everyone else in Izuku's life. Izuku couldn't describe the relief that flooded through him when the call was picked up. "You shouldn't be so relieved. That's your mother, Izuku." Tuning out the banging and yelling, Izuku focused on the footsteps he could hear on the other side of the call. "Tomura?" He knew he sounded desperate, but there was nothing Izuku could do right now. Please be Tomura, and not someone else who somehow got his phone. "Where are you?" Izuku let out a relieved sob when he felt the slight air shift that meant Kurogiri was giving him a way out. Tomura immediately leapt to action when Izuku stumbled through the portal, putting his arm around the teen and guiding him over to the couch as a nervous Kurogiri summoned a first aid kit, just in case. Izuku was sobbing, big, watery, terrified tears. What could have brought this? Sure, Tomura had seen Izuku cry. Everyone who knew the kid for a day had, but never had Izuku's tears been so scared. Sad, hurt, and happy, yes, but never scared. It seemed Izuku had accepted something else that made him cry, but this made him scared. What could have happened? As Izuku sat, he clung to Tomura. The panicked man allowed it, putting his arm around the greenette awkwardly, with his pinky up, as he not so subtly looked him over for injuries. But there weren't any, at least none that were visible to Tomura's point of view. But Izuku was still crying. What was Tomura missing? It took a while, but eventually Izuku's crying tapered down into watery hiccups. Tomura patted his back reassuringly as the teen pulled away jumpedly. He was obviously a little worried, knowing how Tomura didn't like being touched too much. They stewed in silence for a little while before Tomura grew bored. "So," the brunette said elegantly, "what happened?" This question seemed to spur even more tears. Dang it, should have stayed quiet. It took another 5 minutes for Izuku to calm down again, but eventually he did answer. "My mom." Tomura scowled at the mention of that woman. What kind of mom allowed her kid to get beat up and stay at a stranger's place every day? "Well, she slapped me, but because we had a fight, and then she said that maybe I deserved it, and I ran into my room, but she wouldn't leave, and I was scared, so I called you. I'm so sorry. I'll leave if you want. It wasn't even the worst beating I've gotten. Well, she's never hurt me, but others have. I should have just not bothered you. Tomura grabbed Izuku's wrist as the boy tried to tug away in order to not bother Tomura. Well, that was a lot to unpack. Why do I have to deal with this? I'm not even emotionally mature. What makes the universe think I can help him? Easily, Tomura pulled him back down to the couch and wrapped his arm around the greenette's shoulders as he broke down into more tears than should be possible. He was going to become dehydrated at this point. They sat in silence, Tomura awkwardly rubbing circles on the greenette's back. Tomura let the teen cry for another few minutes before he felt like he had to say something. Just stay here, why don't you? It doesn't seem like you want to go back to your mom. Looking at the blood-stained floor behind the couch that they had forgotten to clean, Tomura realized his mistake. Why had he said that? Oh well, too late now. Looks like today is full of mistakes. But don't you have meetings here? Despite his words, Izuku's eyes shone with hope that he might not even know about. Tomura sighed. On the one hand, Izuku probably wouldn't want to hear villains conversing to take down the symbol of peace, or to wake up to the metallic scent of blood. But on the other hand, Tomura took in Izuku's big, bright green eyes. Yeah, but you can stay here if you want. I don't care. And you already know I'm a villain. Contrary to what Tomura assumed would happen, Izuku didn't flinch at the word like he always did. Did he stop caring that he hung out with villains? Or maybe he was still a bit shaken. The teen seemed to think about the offer for a second, but the relief in his eyes gave him away. If you really don't care, he said slowly, still timid. Then I'm not sure if I want to see her now. Or ever. Seriously, the greenette's eyes spoke volumes. Maybe I'll just stay for tonight? I have to school. Tomura would snort if he wasn't trying to comfort a crying child. School. More like a prison. Actually, it was worse than a prison. At least prisons don't let the inmates beat each other up on a daily basis. Whatever. Izuku would probably sleep in and miss it anyway. That's what happened to Tomura when he was upset. Sure. If you want to stay longer, though, just say so. Izuku nodded his head before looking ahead. Why was he doing that? Just then, Karigiri appeared. Oh, right. Izuku could tell when he would appear. That would be useful for when Tomura was trying to hide soda in his room, so Karigiri couldn't force him to drink water. Karigiri must have noticed that Izuku was a little better, immediately going into Mother Bear mode. What happened? Why are you crying? Are you hurt? Who did this? Does Tomura need to kill them? Do I need to kill them? If only. Izuku would never just allow Tomura to kill someone, much less his mom, despite how much he wanted to. The greenette let out a wet giggle as he waved his arms around. No, I'm okay. I'm not hurt. Physically. Please don't kill her. Karigiri narrowed his eyes, disbelieving. Who is this her? No murder. A tired sigh left the misty man's lips, but he didn't have a mouth. How did Karigiri sigh? Much less talk. Why can't people just be normal? Fine then. You're right. No murder. Yet, Tomura murmured. Izuku's head whipped towards him before he was distracted again by Karigiri, specifically the cookie tray that Karigiri was handing to the teen. Izuku took it with wide eyes but a thankful smile. How come he gets cookies? Tomura turned his glare to his caretaker. "Where are my cookies? This is favoritism." "Of course it is," Karagiri answered in a monotone voice. "Izuku is my favorite." "Hey!" the red-eyed man yelled, an offended scowl taking over his lips before he felt a tap on the shoulder. Turning towards a red-faced Izuku, probably surprised by Karagiri's compliment, Tomura was surprised to see the teen offering one of his cookies to him. "You can have some. I can't eat all of them by myself." "Thanks," he muttered, snatching the cookie out of his friend's hand. Karagiri let out a low laugh. "See, Izuku's your favorite, too." Tomura hadn't known that it was possible for someone's face to get so red.